my arms.
Do what you always do.
Hi guys.
You'll do lots of this.
Hi guys, thanks again for joining us on our channel. In this series we will be sharing with you how we turn this Vauxhall Vivaro into a tiny home on wheels. In our last episode we showed you the plans for the van, the cleanse and what we did with our windows and fan. In this episode we will be talking you through a part of our solar system, the wires, the insulation, and I can't remember them all off the top of my head. Oh god, someone's coming past now, Billy. I hope you enjoy the video.
Next job on the list is to get this solar panel installed. So now that we've got the solar cable run through the van and connected up to the panels, what we're going to do is just use this solar charge controller which we've bought for the van and connect it to the battery and just double check that everything's working fine before we actually start, you know, gluing things down and whatnot. So now taking a look at the solar charge controller display, we can see that we are getting some power in from the solar panels. You saw there it's 17 volts at just under 1 amp, which isn't very good, but it's really dull today, so we're not going to get much solar. Now the panel that we have is a 100 watt Renogy solar panel, and the battery that we've got is a 120 amp hour Leoc leisure battery from Alpha Batteries. We can move on to sealing that entry point in the roof of the van. One of the things we're going to fit in this van is a split charger, which means that we can use some of the surplus energy from the starter battery to charge the leisure batteries. Now we found in our last van that having the split charger was an absolute lifesaver, especially during the winter months when there isn't that much solar going into the batteries. So what we've got here is a cargo voltage sensing relay, which is part of the split charge kit. So what that's going to do is enable us to get a connection going from the starter battery of the van, so that when we've got the engine running, it'll detect that it's getting charged, and as long as this is charged enough, it will actually allow surplus to go through. What we're going to do is get a cable coming through here, through the underside of the van, and it'll go over here to the area where we'll have our battery, meaning that while we're driving we can use some of the surplus energy to charge the leisure battery as well as the solar panels. One of the things that this split charge kit comes with is these fuse boxes with these 100 amp fuses. So what we need to do is make sure that we've got one of these in between the starter battery and the split charge relay, and then another one between the relay and the leisure battery. But we've run the cable from the battery box, which is just there, through to this fuse box, through this conduit, just to make sure that it's protected. And then there already was a sort of blanking grommet there, so we've just replaced that and got that running through. And this is actually the step between the cab area and the actual back of the van, so that'll sort of squeeze in quite nicely into the kitchen cabinets and be nice and hidden. And the view from the top, as you can see, this is the conduit that's running through, and we've just connected it up to one of the points there that's going directly to the positive of the starter battery.
So today I'm going to be working on some of the electronics for the van. I'm going to be doing the wiring for the USB port, the 12 volt socket charger, the fans and the light. grab some from the workshop, and the last thing to wire up is the fan. Let's do this. This is easier than I thought. I'm gonna put Billy to the test, hey? I learned from Vandal is when you're wiring, make sure you label them all, although we don't actually have that many wires, so I've just put masking tape around the end of the fan label so you can just differentiate between the fan wires and the light wires. So I'm just going to talk you through what we've done. The battery will be here, so all of the wires are going to be connected to that, but these two wires are going to go to the lighting and the fan circuit, so they run in the conduit all the way up through the cavities of the van up here, and both of them have been grounded to the chassis of the van. I said it earlier, I kept saying sachet. I can't do it. And then these thicker wires here, so we've got 2 red, 2 black. These will be going to the dual USB charging point and the 12-volt cigarette charging point. And they will just stop halfway up the van because our kitchen unit's going to be here and they're going to be on the side of the wall. And the wiring is all complete. We've just popped to Wicks again, but this time we've got the flooring sheets and the laminate flooring for the van. And I'm really excited to use this one because typically we go for white, but this time around we've gone for a darker brown. We also bought the cladding for the walls, so next up on the list is to insulate the walls and do the flooring and clad the walls. So look at this. This morning we spent our time tidying the workshop because it was an absolute mess and we couldn't get at anything. And I said to Billy, if he wants my help on the van, we've got to tidy the workshop. Hello? Do you want to say hi to the camera? Come here. Come here. Say hello. Say hello. Hello.
So now we're moving on to the insulation. So for the walls, what we've got is this North Eco Roll, which is a sustainable product. So this is actually made from recycled glass. So what we're going to do is stuff this in the cavities, on the walls, everything like that, and it'll keep it toasty warm.
Call it a day because we can't see a thing and I'm sure you can't see us either. So yeah, we've just finished putting the foil insulation down on the floor and we're gonna do the walls tomorrow. Good night. So today is gonna be a really good day on the van. It's 24 degrees out, so perfect van building weather.
Sorry, mate.
Okay, you gotta get out. Good boy.
So this isn't actually the floor that we're going to be using in this. We pulled this out of our other van and it's just a really nice fit to act as a template. So we're going to use this to cut out the OSB sheets that we've got.
I'm really excited, so let me do it again. We now have the floorboards in and we need to screw them down. However, we want to use the screw holes that are already in place. So what we're going to do is go under the van, find the holes, put a little, is it a drill hole up through the floor?
Drill a little hole.
We're going to drill a little hole up through the floor and then we can screw it into the same places that they already were. And then we will seal the holes to make sure that there is no rust. So we're just going to take a little break to get some lunch. Also we ran into a bit of a dead end in the van because we don't have the right screws to screw the flooring into the van. We literally have so many screws but we just don't have one that's the right length. So off to tool station we go, which is about an hour trip, round trip. So yeah, we'll meet you back at the van.
Right, so because we're not actually having a step, what we've done is just put these spacers underneath, so that when we fix it down, this isn't going to have any squish and it's going to be nice and sturdy and flat with the rest of the van.
So we just need to decide what like effect we're going for. So if we want it sideways, lengthways, a third up, halfway up, etc. So we're just going to have a look at what it looks like. Yeah. So we mentioned that we were going to do either the laminate flooring like halfway or a third. However, we want to create as little waste as possible at the same time. So we're actually, what is it, more like a fifth up the laminate flooring. So that way we only need to lose like about 5 inches of the laminate flooring, rather than before it would have been like half a board at each end, and they wouldn't have fit to be used on either end. So yeah, we're gonna go with this. Yeah.
In order to cut around the wheel arch for the floorboards, what I'm just doing is using this offcut, which is actually the shape of the wheel arch as drawn from the template. We've just scribed this onto the actual floorboard itself. We're just going to cut that out and then it should fit nice and snug. Right, so it's getting dark now, but we've finally got all of the boards cut, just shy of these little nubby bits up in the corner. But what I'm going to do is get all of these placed down, and then we can place down those little extra bits tomorrow. But that'll basically be it for the day, and we'll call it a night.
So we're going to call that a wrap on today's video. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, hit the notification button. We do want to apologise for the black dot that's hovering around in one of the corners of the screen. We've dropped our camera in the mud and now there's a bit of dirt stuck in the lens and we can't afford to get it cleaned right now. So yeah, thanks a million for watching.